He's the host of Adam Ruins Everything and the podcast Factually with Adam Conover. Please welcome back to the show, Adam Conover.
Hi, thank you for having me back. Oh, I'm doing fine. You know, trying to keep comedy moving from inside my house.
Somebody
doing
has
my
to.
best. Yeah,
somebody has to. Adam has graciously agreed to join for the monologue, in which he will see what he thinks of these jokes. Do whatever you want. There are no rules. Rip them to pieces. Be generous. Whatever you're feeling is fine.
Got it. 100%. I'm very excited to do this.
Let's get into it. What a week. President Trump spent Mother's Day pushing a new conspiracy theory called Obamagate. Trump seems to want to distract us from something, but what?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, that joke needs an additional punchline. Because it's like it's too obvious. You need to go a little bit further. But what? I'm like, yeah, no, I know coronavirus. Yeah. I'm there with you. I got there before you did. So what? This is the biggest distraction since I don't know.
No,
I'm going to come up with a structure. I can.
Yeah. No, you send me off. You send me off with an assignment. You get the structure, and then I can give you. I can pitch.
Could you pitch? Yeah, pitch 3 things on that, and then come back and we'll pick the favorite. And we'll have you do it.
Learning the lessons from 2016's obsession with Hillary Clinton's emails, journalists everywhere ignored this fake scandal that is totally divorced from any factual basis and instead focused on why Trump was attempting to bring this up now. Just kidding. They grabbed onto that shiny worm on a hook and now we're flopping around on the deck of the USS. We're fucked.
There's so many words in that joke.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like. It kind of feels like the idea is a little bit thin. Like you're just saying, hey, we want them to do this. No, they didn't do that. And so instead you're like overloading it with funny words.
With comedy, and it worked. And it killed. And it worked, and it killed.
Sure.
And it worked, and it killed. And it worked, and it's a good joke.
It's a podcast. There's no audience, so you can allow yourself to believe that.
And I shall. This week, a new sound was heard during oral arguments at the Supreme Court.
And what the FCC has said is that when the subject matter of the call ranges to the topics, then the call is transformed.
It's a nice change of pace because usually when Clarence Thomas takes a dump on the Constitution, it's a metaphor.
Here's my question, and I love the joke. Here's my question, is that Clarence Thomas, if we heard the toilet flush, then the Constitution must be in the toilet?
There is a logical problem inside of the joke. You really want it to be something. Help me fix it.
I have a pitch. He wipes his ass with the Constitution. He takes a shit in the toilet, then he wipes his ass with it.
That's it.
Puts the Constitution in the toilet, flushes.
That's exactly right. Usually when Clarence Thomas wipes his ass with the Constitution, it's a metaphor. That cleans it up completely. That's why that's how you get to be you. You know, that's how he gets there. Now, Ashley Feinberg at Slate did a little sleuthing, and her guess was that it was actually Justice Stephen Breyer's toilet, based on his troubles with the microphone.
Oh, no, Stephen.
Though it's hard to tell because the loudest sound in the audio recordings is actually RBG's bones begging to be set free. Adam, I'm just kidding. The loudest sound was Antonin Scalia's ghost shouting, "I was murdered."
Wow. We're out on the wing here.
Jokes. RBG's bones.
RBG Ruth Bones Ginsburg. Her bones. So that's what it's like when you get old, is your bones are begging to leap out of your body?
I don't think it's true of all old people, but I think people that are RBG shaped, that's definitely what's happening. You know?
Do you think she goes to the hospital to prank people? Do you think she's just like, let me check in, start a news alert, frighten 100 million people with New York Times accounts, and it's like, oh yeah, I sprained my finger.
Yeah, she goes to the Georgetown Hospital and she's like, my usual table, please.
Yeah. like look, New York Times, we don't need to hear about every time her scalp is itchy, okay? We don't need an alert to our phone every tiny medical complaint she has. Let us know if she died or not. That's all we care about.
Yeah, I agree. Meanwhile, Elon Musk defied local lockdown orders by reopening his Tesla factory, and thanks to their autopilot feature, those cars can keep driving long after we've all died of COVID-19. Now, Adam, I wanted to actually ask you about this. So
I like that one.
I know you like that one. I know that's a sweet spot for you. Tesla and local officials have settled their differences, and the county has approved a plan that allows Tesla to operate under some safety guidelines, and they're going to check and make sure they're following these protocols. But it started because it became a controversy because, as always, Elon Musk behaves like an absolute goober on Twitter.
Yeah.
What do you think is going on? Why is somebody like Elon Musk behaving so foolishly online?
Because he's denying the virus exists. He's denying the virus's severity. He's denying the science about the virus because he stands to benefit if we ignore it. Because he wants to keep his car factory running, and he personally gains a lot of money. He has a bonus based on the stock price and based on the performance of the company. So it's quite straightforward. He's acting in very naked self-interest, and he, of course, will not get sick. So it's not at all a difficult explanation. He just wants more money.
I guess in the larger sense, Elon Musk starts a company that becomes PayPal. He starts SpaceX. He starts Tesla. These are incredibly impressive businesses. All right. Clearly somebody. Yeah.
They're fine. SpaceX, great. NASA says we're going to get out of the space exploration. We're going to contract with private companies. SpaceX shows up and says, we'll take the money. Great business. Made a lot of money. But, I'm just saying, PayPal, cool. I send money to my mom. Occasionally, I use it, click on it instead of my credit card company, But, okay, fine.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think that there is a desire now to cut down the scale of those achievements because we've come to dislike Elon Musk and find him to be such a ridiculous figure.
I'll disagree with you. Elon Musk, people say he's a genius. He's a genius at one single thing. He's a genius at personal myth-making about himself. And he had 10 years of portraying himself as a Thomas Edison level genius in the media. The media swallowed it uncritically for a full decade, right? And then he started exposing himself, as you say, as a goober, right? And in retrospect, it's making us all realize, this was all bullshit the whole time. He's a successful tech entrepreneur in PayPal. He's rolling that advantage into some other businesses. That doesn't mean that he knows shit about diseases, about artificial intelligence, about rescuing children from tunnels, So, look, he's a successful businessman. Why do we have to constantly suck him off and say, but he's so impressive. Oh, so impressive, so impressive,
We
so
don't.
impressive.
We don't.
I'm not incredibly impressed by the businesses.
I'm not looking to embrace the myth, but I do think the truth lies somewhere in the middle, because I do think that the Tesla, SpaceX, these are more than just, these are incredibly impressive achievements. He's now built a electric car company that has produced electric cars faster than other companies thought possible, ahead of the major auto companies. That's an incredibly impressive feat. That might not be born of unique, Thomas Edison-like genius, but it is born of a set of traits that are far beyond the kind of traits he demonstrates in his behavior online.
Yes, I would just characterize them as, rather than, he invented electric cars, it's good marketing, right? Tesla is primarily excellent marketing, for example. And so that's where I quibble, right? With all this. And by the way, Teslas are fucking lemons. My brother-in-law owns one. He hates it because it falls apart. He can't get it fixed. They're lemons, right? The company
my trunk gets a little bit stuck.
The company has transparently not been operating particularly well for most of its life, right? So very happy for it to kickstart, the electric car revolution. But why do we have to then conclude that Elon Musk is some kind of genius space explorer personally? I don't believe that he is, right? And B, again, he's a contractor for the federal government, right? We don't go fucking Lockheed invented missiles that nobody else could invent. No, the government was like, we need some missiles. Here's a couple $1 billion to build some missiles. They built them, right? Okay. That's what SpaceX is. It's a government contractor. So great. Like we're paying to make him a billionaire. It's our money.
In other news, Adam, Paul Manafort, President Trump's former campaign chairman, was released Wednesday to serve his prison term under home confinement because of coronavirus fears. Finally, Paul Manafort catches a break. It's more of an aside. It's just sort of a little droll comment.
Poor guy, he suffered so much.
If you're upset he got released, just remember Ellen DeGeneres said being at home is like jail too.
Ellen DeGeneres, she and Paul probably get along. They could probably be best friends, right? I mean, they don't agree on everything, but probably they'd probably be friends.
Earlier this week, when asked if the presidential election might be postponed because of the pandemic, Jared Kushner said, "I'm not sure I can commit one way or the other. The hot ones are never ready to commit."
I like that because the joke is labeling Jared Kushner as hot. That's what I enjoy about it. That's great.
I also think that he was hot, but the way that he's screwed his face up, into positions over the last 3 or 4 years, various facial expressions that have become quite natural to him, have destroyed whatever remaining hotness might have been there, in the tank.
He also didn't say that because he's planning on postponing the election. He's doing the classic business zero chud move of just not saying anything at any time. You ask him any question, he's not going to commit to anything. He's coasting through life by just saying, "Could be, we'll look into that." Yeah, I can't commit right now, but that's a thought. Thank you for sharing.
He didn't understand that it was an easy one.
Right.
There's actually an easy answer. No. President can't postpone the election. Only Congress can. We're having the election. Adam Conover, this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, John. Thanks for taking my notes in good form, and I'm looking forward to the revisions being on my desk tomorrow by EOD.